Let's get to Jon Fisher. He's a portfolio manager at Fifth Third Asset Management. And Jon, you own some of the banks, but you don't own Citi. But nevertheless, do you think Citigroup, from this report and judging from some of the positive things coming out from it, as Adam was just outlining, does it seem as if Vikram Pandit is righting the ship at all?
I mean, I still think they're underperforming the rest of the industry. You know, they generate a lot of headlines in their press release, and based on what you want to exclude and what you want to include, and if you really look hard, and I mean, you can try and find some positive and spin some things positive, but in general, they continue to underperform the rest of the industry, and that's really all that matters.
Right, but I mean, let's take some of the positives that were just outlined. For instance, the loan loss reserves, the buildup of that, a bit less than what one might have expected. Does that show an improvement at all in their portfolio?
I mean, you could interpret it that way. You could also interpret it that given the history of the company over projecting and reserving for loan losses, again, this is another situation where they're being overly optimistic on the outlook for loan losses. And, you know, we're going to find out in a couple of quarters that, you know, they're way under reserved and they're going to have to take a huge charge. So, you know, it's all in how you want to interpret it or spin it right now.
Okay, interpret or spin it, but it's sort of, you know, the numbers are laid out for us. So what gives you the warning flags right now, Jon, going through this report?
My outlook would be that they're being too optimistic on how poorly credit continues to deteriorate through 2010, and I would expect a large catch-up to what is being interpreted this quarter as a positive, less than expected reserve build. I would imagine at some point next year we're going to see a catch-up to that.
Okay, so then what do you want to hear from Citigroup then when they hold their conference call? What's going to help you at least see a better picture about what's to come?
Well, I want to hear some convincing, tangible evidence that they see things getting better. You know, how does their outlook compare and contrast to what JP Morgan said? But then how would you believe them? I mean,
if they tell you that things are getting better?
I mean, from my perspective, I'm biased against their opinions and their outlooks on things because they've been one of the more inaccurate at forecasting and preparing for what's been going on over the last 2 or 3 years. So I really don't think that their outlook and their opinions on things should be taken as a benchmark or as all that accurate of guidance. I think there are others in the industry that provide more tangible credibility than Citigroup management does.
Okay, and I presume that would maybe some of the other banks that we've heard from already, including JP Morgan. But Jon, that's all the time that I have. But thank you so much for joining us. Jon Fisher from Fifth Third Asset Management is